Have you ever wondered why, despite following your doctor's advice and taking all your meds, the cure just never seems to happen? The truth might be shocking. Your health is controlled by a system that prioritizes profit over healing. The pharmaceutical industry, in cahoots with food giants, ensures that you stay sick and dependent on medication. And it gets worse. Natural treatments and remedies that could truly change your life are constantly discredited and suppressed. Why? Because a healthy patient doesn't bring in revenue. Get ready to uncover how this cycle of manipulation works and, more importantly, how to break free from it. You're about to learn the secrets they never want you to know. The pharmaceutical industry and the food sector have secretly joined forces, creating a vicious cycle where consuming processed foods inevitably leads to a need for medication. The health conspiracy starts right here, with foods loaded with pesticides, preservatives, and colorings designed to hook people and fuel chronic diseases. The cycle is clear. The more toxic food you consume, the more dangerous medications you'll need. In this scenario, it becomes evident how the health industry ensures that people never fully recover. Make no mistake, this scheme is meticulously crafted. This symbiotic relationship not only generates astronomical profits, but also blocks natural alternatives from gaining traction. With the market flooded by processed foods and harmful drugs, these corporations ensure a monopoly that stifles any chance of alternative treatments gaining ground. It's as if the cure is kept just out of reach, hidden behind flashy labels and enticing pills. And so the collusion persists, ensuring that suffering becomes a part of everyday life. The vicious cycle continues, fueled by misinformation and dependency. While the manipulation goes on, unnoticed by most, the food and pharmaceutical industries know exactly how to trap people in an endless cycle of consumption and dependence. Processed food products filled with addictive additives lead to diseases like diabetes and hypertension, which then require dangerous medications for management. This dirty game is masked by promises of wellness and health, but in reality, it's a meticulously engineered mechanism to keep people dependent. Profit doesn't come from curing, but from making sure conditions remain chronic. It's like signing an invisible contract you never agreed to, but you're bound to it nonetheless. To maintain constant revenue, these corporations hide crucial information about the dangers of processed foods and promote continuous use of pharmaceuticals. This way, even those seeking alternative cures are discouraged. When someone tries to break away from conventional medication and turns to natural herbs, the system moves to discredit these approaches. This dependency fuels not only the pharmacies but also the entire system, controlling the health narrative as if the path to freedom is constantly being blocked. Processed foods are full of hidden traps disguised as convenience and flavor. Preservatives, colorings, and pesticides are common ingredients on most supermarket shelves, but the damage they inflict on your health is devastating. These toxic substances gradually weaken the body, overloading the liver and compromising immunity. Without realizing it, people consume actual poison in their daily meals, while the pharmaceutical industry waits to sell medications that merely alleviate the symptoms caused by these very foods. It's as if the cure is programmed never to happen, perpetuating the health conspiracy. These harmful ingredients don't just deteriorate physical health, they also affect mental well-being, contributing to anxiety, depression, and chronic fatigue. Over the years, constant exposure to these toxins can lead to irreversible conditions. The body, overwhelmed by so many artificial compounds, starts reacting unpredictably. And faced with this reality, people wonder why they're sick and dependent on pharmaceutical treatments that never solve the real problem. It's a controlled dance, and the public barely notices they're just following the rhythm. Consuming toxic processed foods continuously is not just a bad habit, it's a one-way ticket to developing severe illnesses. Diabetes, cancer, and cardiovascular issues are closely linked to these products, which slowly and silently destroy the body. The situation worsens when this kind of consumption starts in childhood, shaping a pattern that extends throughout life. It's like planting a toxic seed that sooner or later will grow into serious health problems. And of course, this is where the pharmaceutical industry steps in. With promises to control and relieve symptoms, medications are sold as solutions for the damage caused by the very system that produces harmful food. Statins for cholesterol, pills for high blood pressure, and drugs for diabetes become inseparable companions for those already victimized by unchecked consumption of processed foods. And ironically, most people never question the real origins of their diseases. Medication dependency sets in, and corporations continue profiting, feeding the false hope that these drugs are the ultimate answer. The truth is, the drugs you find on the shelves aren't designed to cure anything. They provide temporary relief, masking symptoms while leaving the root cause untouched. Take painkillers for chronic pain, for example. The immediate sense of relief might feel comforting, but the underlying cause remains unresolved. The pharmaceutical industry invests heavily in pills to ease pain, lower cholesterol, and manage diseases. But the focus is never on complete healing. After all, if there were a cure, profits would dry up fast. This scheme is clever because it keeps millions of people trapped in a loop of alternative health treatments that are often blocked or discredited. Research into natural cures or therapies that target the root of illnesses is deliberately ignored or labeled as unproven. The goal is clear: maintain the monopoly and control the narrative that only conventional medications are valid. At the same time, those seeking to heal naturally are discouraged. Meanwhile, the cycle of relief and relapse continues and dependency perpetuates. The pharmaceutical industry's grip extends far beyond developing drugs. It's about complete control over what can or cannot be researched, what can or cannot be publicized. Alternative therapies, natural treatments, and any approach that threatens Big Pharma's empire are systematically suppressed. Behind the scenes, there's a quiet suppression of studies that prove the effectiveness of medicinal plants or practices that reduce medication dependency. This manipulation of the narrative sustains the belief that only pills are the answer, excluding solutions that could genuinely heal. When someone decides to explore the power of natural foods or healing with medicinal herbs, they quickly find a barrage of conflicting and discredited information. This is no accident. What many don't realize is that millions of dollars are invested annually to ensure promising research on alternative health never sees the light of day. The fear of losing control and seeing alternative treatments emerge is so great that this silent war continues to be waged without most people even suspecting. The number is staggering, but the reality behind it is even more disturbing. The pharmaceutical industry rakes in approximately $650 billion annually by exploiting chronic diseases that could be prevented or treated naturally. Every patient trapped in a medication cycle represents a continuous source of revenue. It's not hard to see that curing people isn't in these corporations' best interest. After all, a healthy society doesn't need drugs, and it's this dependence they perpetuate that generates exorbitant profits, ensuring this scheme's survival. The secret to these corporations' financial success is making sure a cure never arrives. While alternative health treatments are suppressed and anti-cancer natural recipes are overlooked, expensive medications are pushed as the only option. Chronic diseases like diabetes and hypertension become the cash cows of this industry, which uses fear and urgency to market pills as the only hope. The lingering question is, how can you trust a system that makes more money from sickness than from health? This game of interest is clear, but the numbers are cold, calculated, and expertly hidden. Statins, widely prescribed for cholesterol management, generate an astounding $21 billion in revenue annually. But here's the question: do these drugs really fix the problem or just mask the symptoms? Often people on these drugs see their cholesterol levels drop, but side effects and dependency quickly follow. Muscle pain, fatigue, and even neurological issues are just some of the rarely mentioned consequences. In the end, people don't feel cured. They feel even more trapped in a cycle that never ends. The market for partial cures exploits this very fragility. Why treat the root cause when you can generate continuous profits selling temporary fixes? This clever scheme ensures more and more people get sucked into the system. Meanwhile, real solutions like preventing chronic diseases through dietary changes and using medicinal herbs are relegated to the sidelines. It's a cruel paradox. The drugs that promise health are often the very ones that prolong the illness, preventing people from rediscovering the healing power of natural foods. While the industry pushes the narrative that healing lies in pills and chemical formulas, nature offers its own answers. A simple mix of turmeric, ginger, garlic, cayenne pepper, olive oil, and lemon juice holds extraordinary therapeutic power. These ingredients, packed with anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties, can help combat diseases that conventional medicine limits itself to treating with dangerous drugs. It's no wonder these combinations have been used for centuries across various cultures, part of a legacy that was pushed aside by the rise of the pharmaceutical industry. Applying these recipes is simpler than you'd think. Just 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder with a pinch of cayenne pepper and a glass of warm water is enough to reduce inflammation in the body. This kind of knowledge, passed down from generation to generation, is often disregarded in modern society, dominated by the health industry's control. It's as if a hidden treasure is available to everyone, but few know where to look. And in the meantime, the true cure remains ignored, buried under the weight of pharmaceutical ads. When it comes to the power of natural foods, few people realize their true healing potential. Fruits, vegetables, spices, and herbs contain bioactive compounds that go beyond mere nutrients. Garlic, for instance, is a potent natural antibacterial and antifungal agent, while cayenne pepper helps improve blood circulation and detoxify the body. And that's not all. Studies show that foods like broccoli, turmeric, and ginger have anti-cancer properties that could rival many conventional treatments. But the pharmaceutical industry rarely highlights this potential, preferring to push drugs that at best only address symptoms. The reality is that a diet rich in fresh, minimally processed foods can prevent and even reverse many of the health issues plaguing modern society. The impact of pesticides on health, combined with the consumption of processed foods, undermines the healing power that diet could offer. Switching to a more natural diet, rich in ingredients like cayenne pepper and turmeric, not only reduces symptoms, but can also prevent chronic diseases from emerging. What seems like a simple plate of food could actually be a powerful remedy in disguise. The control exerted by the health and food industries isn't confined to a single country or region, it's a global network. Governments, health institutions, and large corporations work together to sustain a system that keeps people sick and dependent. The agenda is clear: promote processed foods and medications that create dependency while silencing natural therapies. It's a true conspiracy that operates in the shadows, manipulating everything from scientific studies to the information that reaches the public. The promise of health is, in fact, accompanied by diseases that could easily be prevented or treated naturally. Meanwhile, millions remain trapped on dangerous drugs that, instead of healing, worsen their conditions. It's a carefully engineered cycle of suffering. The impact of pesticides on health and medication dependency are not just side effects, they are planned outcomes that guarantee continuous profits. The industry knows that the more people get sick, the more drugs will be sold. But this hidden, uncomfortable truth is starting to be uncovered by those seeking natural healing, and this awakening poses a real threat to the status quo. Awareness is the first step to breaking free from this cycle of manipulation. Many people are beginning to question the motives behind the pharmaceutical and food industry's practices, seeking safer and more effective alternatives. The awakening comes with the pursuit of information about healing with medicinal herbs and choosing foods that truly promote health, instead of blindly following recommendations that benefit big corporations. Those who wake up to this reality understand that the power to heal often lies in simple daily choices, like replacing processed foods with natural options. This awakening doesn't happen overnight. It's a process of re-education, of looking beyond headlines and advertisements to see the truth. And as more people start making this shift, the industry feels the pressure from a public that no longer wants to be treated as just a number or a source of profit. This change in mindset is not only about physical health, but also about the freedom to choose and autonomy over one's own body. The truth that was once hidden is starting to gain strength, and new possibilities are emerging for those who want to live healthier lives with less dependency. Cancer development is influenced by several factors, many of which are tied to everyday choices. Smoking is one of the main culprits, linked to cancers beyond just the lungs, such as bladder and esophageal cancer. Excessive alcohol consumption is also harmful, causing cellular mutations that increase risks. Meanwhile, an unhealthy diet filled with toxic processed foods contributes to the accumulation of carcinogenic substances in the body. It's a dangerous combination that, when combined with stress and prolonged sun exposure, jeopardizes overall health. Additionally, genetic predisposition, though uncontrollable, can be exacerbated by the presence of pollutants and chemicals in everyday food and products. Medication dependency, especially on drugs that harm health in the long term, can make things even worse. With so many variables at play, it's clear that prevention involves adopting healthier habits, seeking natural ways to heal, and minimizing exposure to harmful agents. However, changing these patterns requires more than just willpower. It takes information and awareness to break free from the status quo. Preventing cancer starts with small but powerful lifestyle changes. Adopting a diet rich in fresh foods like fruits, vegetables, and whole grains helps strengthen the immune system and combat free radicals. Avoiding processed foods laden with pesticides and preservatives is crucial to reducing the risk of developing the disease. Additionally, practices like meditation and regular physical activity help control stress, which is a major factor in the formation of cancer cells. These simple actions, when combined, make a monumental difference. Regular checkups and medical follow-ups are also essential for early detection of any abnormalities in the body. Self-exams and careful observation of unusual signs can be life-saving. However, it's crucial to seek alternative treatments that strengthen health and avoid dependency on dangerous medications, which often cause more harm than good. Investing in the power of natural foods and incorporating effective home remedies is a safer and more promising path. The combination of healthy habits and knowledge becomes a powerful strategy for preventing and managing cancer. Now that you know how the pharmaceutical industry and the food system work to keep you trapped in illness and medication, what will you do with this information? Are you going to keep accepting it passively, or are you going to seek new ways to achieve true health? It's time to take control of your well-being and explore the secrets of natural foods and home remedies that can transform your life. If you're tired of being manipulated and want to discover how to live with more vitality and fewer meds, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss out. Let's uncover the frauds and reveal what really works for your health.